Welcome back to our channel, where we provide updates and undisclosed narratives on Catherine, Princess of Wales, and her royal family. We provide you with the exciting news. King Charles is mad after Camilla leaked a hidden secret of Princess Diana. An informant stated, "Palace in turmoil as Queen Camilla unearths Princess Diana's long-held secrets, leaving King Charles stunned." Queen Camilla has supposedly shared some very private and long-kept facts about the late Diana, Princess of Wales, which has shaken the royal family. A close look at hidden papers and archives that King Charles III supposedly left behind shocked and upset him, making him deal with a history he believed was over. Reports indicated that those inside Buckingham Palace were shocked. For the king, hearing these things was like going back to a hidden world he thought he knew, but that had altered forever. Reports suggest that memories, realities that were kept secret for years, and circumstances that were buried for years have come back with frightening clarity. Even the most calm royals have been struck speechless by the surprising and intimate things that have come to light. What might shock the modern monarchy so much? This is the story of a shocking discovery that might change the meticulously planned history of a famous person from the 20th century. Queen Camilla's shocking confession. Sources inside the palace say that long-hidden secrets have come to light. Reports suggest that Queen Camilla has told the palace some stunning news that has left King Charles dealing with the emotional and historical effects. The royal family, which is accustomed to maintaining a calm and unbreakable public image, now has to deal with a narrative that might damage Princess Diana's legacy. People called Queen Elizabeth II a life well lived, a promise kept with destiny. Her death marked the end of a time of stability. Her son's kingdom is facing an unexpected test of its ability to survive. Camilla's alleged discovery was planned. Sources say that she worked hard interviewing private historians and going through confidential royal archives materials. This thorough investigation brought to light everything that Princess Diana had sought to keep from the media and the palace. One of the most stunning things was Diana's DNA research, which she kept secret. There were rumors for years that there was a private inquiry. Camilla's admission seems to substantiate it in great detail. Diana's friends and co-workers have spoken about issues and puzzles that bothered her for years. There were whispers and memoirs and movies hinted at the truth, but the royal walls kept it a secret. People who know say that the answers to those puzzles have been provided in a way that is both startling and clear, giving us a new and complex look into the private life of one of the most famous women in the world. People close to the royal family think the discovery is profound and maybe even life-changing, which means it goes beyond just being interesting from a historical point of view. The palace have always been careful and tried to manage how people see them. It is hard to disguise, however, that these new things about the family's history are true. Camilla's claims regarding Diana's life go against what many people have always thought, rewriting stories and starting heated private talks among royal insiders. Insiders say that these disclosures might subtly affect how the family and society see settled history. The king, who recently turned 75, is now dealing with his first marital ghosts in ways he didn't anticipate. This discovery has to do with a sensitive DNA test. Even if the details are hidden, many who knew Diana say she thought about this for years, and sometimes told her closest friends about it. Queen Camilla's diligence is seen by how carefully she reads, and how easily she can get to materials that were formerly off-limits. The palace is said to have reacted with astonishment and careful worry, knowing that these kinds of revelations may influence how people feel about Diana's legacy and the royal family. This revelation is important because it shows how weak people are and how exciting royal life can be. People all throughout the globe admired Princess Diana for how flawless and calm she was. But fresh information points to a more complicated and deeply personal story, a woman who dealt with private issues that few could have predicted, despite being in the public eye. The disclosure of these long-rumored secrets adds a profound new layer to her life, highlighting struggles and anxieties that had been buried. Friends of the late princess claimed the finding was groundbreaking and put to rest worries that had been around for decades. Some people claim it clears up any doubts, while others argue it changes the way we see Diana's private life in interesting and poignant ways. Because of the secrecy, historical interest, and personal disclosure, this finding might affect how the royal family and the public see Diana. Queen Camilla's purported admissions go beyond gossip. They show Diana's inner struggles and how she made choices while being watched all the time. But this is only the beginning. Diana's forbidden love, looking for happiness. Queen Camilla's supposed admissions showed Princess Diana's passion, fortitude, and quiet, determined search for happiness that few had witnessed. These new details are mostly about Diana's strong love for Dr. Hasnat Khan, the Pakistani heart surgeon she dubbed her Great Love. A lot of people thought that the princess's life was controlled by royal expectations, a strict public schedule, and the continual attention of the media across the globe. These new insights show a very personal story of love, devotion, and emotional emancipation. Diana's life changed in ways she didn't foresee when she divorced Prince Charles. She met Dr. Khan in 1995 at the Royal Brompton Hospital, where a friend was recovering from surgery. She instantly fell in love with his calm confidence, hard work, and charm. This friendship seemed real and strong, unlike the formal exchanges that royal etiquette calls for. Sources say that Diana pursued the relationship in a way that shocked even her closest friends because she was so struck by Khan's subtle charm. A woman who had been navigating the unwritten rules of monarchy for more than 10 years took a brave, uncommon action. Diana thought the risks were worth it, for the chance of real love and equality. Diana's secret romance changed her life for good. Dr. Khan was gently and discreetly introduced into her private life at Kensington Palace. They had fun times without the pomp and circumstance of royal events. Diana found calm and routine in making her own meals, playing football, and going on quiet walks away from the limelight. These moments of connection demonstrated Diana's yearning for equality, respect, and mutual understanding, which she had missed in her marriage, as well as the joy of shared experiences. Diana was now in a relationship where both people respected one another instead of expecting things from each other. She was a woman falling in love at this moment, not a princess performing, or a public person keeping up her image. She was so into Khan that she lost herself in his world. She read a lot about Pakistan and Islam to understand about his way of life. She even thought about following him. She read difficult medical books, including Gray's Anatomy, to better understand his convoluted world of heart surgery. This action demonstrated that she was smart, kind, and really wanted to be a part of the life of the person she loved. Diana didn't often realize how deeply she was emotionally involved, how curious she was intellectually, and how much she wanted to have a genuine connection with someone else. It seems that King Charles is horrified by the news of this long-hidden romance. For the first time, he and other palace insiders realized that Diana had been happy and satisfied with her life outside of the royal family for decades. She had loved someone, but a formal, controlled marriage had kept her from doing so. This revelation demonstrates her emotional depth and a degree of independence, audacity, and self-awareness that few attributed to the princess throughout her lifetime. People who were there, and Diana's pals, said this period changed her. Her connection with Khan was a significant emotional growth chapter that helped her feel like she belonged and made friends. Unlike the orchestrated parties and public exhibitions of her royal duties, these private, intimate moments demonstrated Diana's love, determination, and relentless search for happiness. This covert connection shows that Princess Diana had two reasons for doing what she did: her royal obligations and her personal goals, and the strength to go after both. Her love for Dr. Hasnat Khan reveals that she was a woman who wanted emotional fulfillment, equality, and real friendship while being watched and judged by many people. This finding continues to fascinate, showing that behind the princess's famous looks was a human heart looking for love, happiness, and a life on her own terms. The secret problems of a marriage without intimacy. What made Diana fall in love with someone in secret? Was it Charles's lack of proximity or a deeper emotional distance that made her want to connect with him? People all across the world thought Princess Diana's marriage to the future king was a fairy tale, but it was far more real and hard. Not many people outside the palace knew that Diana was suffering inside, even though she looked regal and was famous all over the globe. She said that her physical relationship with Charles was strange. In private recordings that would make up Andrew Morton's book, she termed their closeness odd, which didn't even come close to how far off and emotionally drained she felt in the married bedroom. Diana witnessed a completely different interaction between newlyweds even early in their marriage. A young couple starting a life together should be enthusiastic, yet their physical connection was uncommon, tense, and emotionally distant. Diana thought that this lack of connection was a big part of the emotional distance between them, and it was a constant, painful reminder of how far apart they were. The world saw a serene and graceful princess, but Diana had a hard time with the difference. Strict royal rules, frequent public scrutiny, and great expectations as a future queen made it hard to make real connections. During the marriage, this distance in intimacy grew. Diana informed her friends that Charles only wanted to talk to her in person every 3 weeks. She believed this schedule indicated how little they were connected and how often he secretly met with other women outside of their marriage. These data show how hard it is for Diana to keep a relationship based on love and passion. Diana felt more alone and sad since they didn't spend much time together. She was a young woman in one of the most renowned marriages, but she didn't have many friends. Her problems with bulimia and depression, which are well documented, were made worse by the struggle between her public and private life. She must have been emotionally drained by a life full of tasks, appearances, and expectations, without the basic human touch she wanted from her husband. These meetings had a big emotional effect, even if they didn't happen very often. It seems like Diana sought love, connection, and a relationship that would help her. The limited intimacy with Charles was not only a matter of biology or scheduling, it represented a significant emotional chasm that she had to navigate carefully while maintaining the dignity and grace expected of her by the royal household and the public. This look inside their marriage also shows how Diana longed for real love and companionship outside of the royal marriage. That's why she was so attracted to Dr. Khan, who treated her the same and loved her head and heart. The stark difference between her life with Charles and the love she found elsewhere shows how lonely and dissatisfied she was in the castle for 10 years. Diana's frank remarks reveal a woman grappling with significant personal challenges behind the crown. The way she talks about the sexual dynamics of the marriage shows that there isn't much intimacy and that she is looking for meaningful connection. She spoke about the troubles that one of the most famous women of her time was having, which are sad. Diana felt lonely and wanted real love, even if she was a princess. Freddie Mercury's Night of Freedom, a secret adventure queen. Camilla's comments also shed light on Princess Diana's most daring and funny night out, which was a secret that not many people could have predicted. Diana was courageous, naughty, and eager to see what life was like outside the palace, even though she was known across the globe as the graceful, poised Princess of Wales. People who were there claimed the encounter began in a normal way. Diana had a quiet afternoon at comedian Kenny Everett's home with Queen's flamboyant lead singer Freddie Mercury and actress Cleo Rokos. They watched reruns of The Golden Girls. Audacious entertainment came from simple amusement. Rokos, who was with Diana that night, said she went into full mischief mode, which was a rare and unexpected display of light-hearted defiance. That night, Diana wanted to hang out with the group. Mercury, who was known for being full of life and living in the present, told her to go on, let the girl have some fun. Diana really thought about this idea. It was okay to take a break from the royal family's rigorous regulations and watchful eyes. The group went to the Royal Vauxhall Tavern, a famous gay bar in London. This place was known for its loud environment drag shows and rowdy crowds. It was nothing from Kensington Palace, which was quite formal, and had continual press coverage of Diana. A plan was created to avoid being seen. Diana had on an army bomber jacket, a leather baseball cap, and aviator sunglasses. Rokos says that these simple clothes let her become an eccentrically dressed gay male model, for the night mixing in with the clubgoers who had no idea she was a princess. Diana wasn't a queen within the club. She was simply another person who went out at night. She joined the crowd, ordered drinks at the bar, and walked about freely without worrying about what others thought or what was expected of her. For one night, she was free of camera's courtiers and her royal duties. This interesting and covert meeting let her explore her fun, adventurous, and rule-breaking side. The outing's audacity didn't stop even when she hid. It was startling how brave Diana was to fully enter a world that was so different from her own. A lady who had been under a lot of public scrutiny for years, carefully playing the part of a princess, was suddenly smiling, ordering beer and white wine, and being herself, which was a side of her that few people had seen before. The night made her want to go on an adventure and find joy and spontaneity in a life full of duty and expectation. Rokos and other sources say that royal aides and insiders were shocked when this secret trip was made public years later. Imagining Diana, the epitome of royal protocol, entering such a free-spirited setting hurt her image as a person who was bound by rules and appearances. It was a sad reminder that behind the beautiful front was a woman who, like everyone else, craved happiness, laughter, and freedom. This trip with Freddie Mercury and friends was one of Diana's most exciting and entertaining times. It shows her paradox. She is a princess loved by millions, yet wants to be independent, have normal experiences, and interact with other people. Diana's night at the Royal Vauxhall Tavern was once a secret, but now it stands for her bravery, individuality, and lively free spirit behind the royal walls. The palace thinks Diana is bold, passionate, and smart for bringing this story back to life. Diana's wedding charms, personal rituals around the world. On the day of her wedding, which was very public and closely watched, Diana kept secrets that only a few people could have known. About 750 million people witnessed her royal wedding to the Prince of Wales on July 29, 1981. It was the most romantic, pompous, and faultless wedding ever. Cameras captured everything from the beautiful Emmanuel gown to the flowers in St. Paul's Cathedral. Diana kept a very private ritual behind the well-organized presentation that showed off her joyful personality and belief in tradition. It is said that the Princess of Wales had an 18-karat gold horseshoe brooch with white diamonds sewn into the back of her wedding dress without anybody knowing. This was not a normal piece of jewelry. People in Britain have believed for hundreds of years that the horseshoe would bring them money and safety. It was meticulously hidden between silk taffeta and old lace, so that only Diana and her trusted dressmakers, David and Elizabeth Emanuel, knew about it. This charm shows how Diana pays close attention to detail in her private life and how she breaks royal convention. Diana also added a golden horseshoe and a blue ribbon tied in a bow and stitched onto the waistband of her dress. Traditionally, the bride wore something blue on her wedding day to show her love, loyalty, and good luck. It appeared little to everyone else, but Diana regarded it as a simple way to make her feel better throughout the stress of her new royal duties. These little actions reflect a lady trying to balance what others expect of her in public with what she believes in private. They mix superstition and sentimentality into her most public day. These hidden qualities imply more than just symbols. Even though she was calm and lived like a queen, they show a princess who sought comfort and power in little private rituals. It would have been too much for a 20-year-old to have a globally broadcast wedding with millions of people watching and the media picking apart every move. Diana utilized these tiny charms to help her mentally as little anchors amid a sea of expectations and as a way to show how different she was in a place where rules were important. People who work at the palace claim that the increasing interest in these little things has shocked even King Charles. Diana secretly added these personal symbols of protection and good luck to her public life, even on a day when the public was watching her closely. This shows how clever she was and how determined she was to keep her private life hidden. The princess was funny kind and aware of her priorities beyond the couture cameras and ceremony. This little-known story gives us a glimpse of Diana's personality and life as a princess. She respected tradition, but she also found ways to make it her own by adding little personal touches that indicated who she was. The blue ribbon and horseshoe were more than just charms. They showed that she could find meaning in royal life. This finding still amazes Diana biographers decades later. It illustrates how she combined grace and poise with little acts of defiance to create private rituals that showed hope, superstition, and a lively mind. The hidden gold horseshoe and delicate blue ribbon remind us that Princess Diana cared about the personal, the secret, and the significant, even while the whole world was watching. Diana's darkest day, the nightmare behind the fairy tale. Diana felt worse as she put on secret charms. Millions of people across the world saw Princess Diana and Prince Charles's wedding as the wedding of the century. They thought they were seeing a fairy tale love that would last forever. The ceremony was grand, well-planned, and royal, every bride's dream. Diana's day was everything but perfect, even though cameras captured it perfectly and sent it to millions of people. A nightmare for her. In the 2017 documentary, Diana in Her Own Words, which featured secret recordings, the princess honestly declared that her wedding day was the worst day of my life. Instead of being happy and excited, Diana was filled with uncertainty, fear, and remorse. She felt the weight of her decision more as the day got closer. She was anxious about how much attention the world was paying to her, and the fact that she was getting closer to a marriage she wasn't sure she wanted. Charles's bracelet for Camilla Parker Bowles, which was uncovered days before the wedding, crushed her hopes and confirmed her darkest fears about his love for another woman. Even though she was happy, Diana was going through an emotional storm. The cathedral's grandeur and the many cameras added to the strain, making her realize that she was about to commit to a life with little freedom or choice. She was a young woman who was thrust into the public eye and supposed to smile, play her role perfectly, and be flawless while dealing with fear and uncertainty on the inside. Not many people could understand how her public image didn't match her private life. Later, Diana's sisters joked that the day had come and it was too late to change their minds, since her face was already on the tea towels. This remark shows how hopeless Diana felt. It was no longer possible to cancel. The wedding was important because of tradition media hoopla and the excitement of people all across the globe. She felt trapped by her duty and had no way out, which made the difference between the spectacle and her pain clearer. Diana's sentiments about her wedding indicate that not everything that seems good is good. Diana felt stressed, sad, and emotionally torn in what seemed like a great marriage to everyone else. The contrast between what people expected and what they really thought revealed how looks may disguise the most serious psychological problems. The princess, who was famed for her grace and style, had to deal with a day that meant love commitment and giving up her own freedom to do what was right instead of what was fun. This honest description of her wedding day gives us a rare and scary insight into the private life of one of the most famous women in history. It shows how a young princess feels when she has to make a big decision that will change her life while the whole world is watching. Diana's confession that she had anxiety and guilt in a fairy tale world makes her more relatable and reminds people that she was a real person with hopes, fears, and dreams. Diana's wedding day reveals that even the most beautiful and extravagant events can't disguise problems within. The world praised Diana's seemingly perfect marriage, but her experience demonstrates how hard it is to be a royal when duty, tradition, and expectation may come before personal happiness. Her thoughts on the human heart behind the crown are still important decades later. Rumored disclosures provide a more complex, deeper, and more human picture of the woman the world thought it knew. Thank you for watching the video. Please let us know your thoughts and goodbye for now.